Hello, beautiful ladies. I just want to check that I'm live. And yes, I am. And so we can get started on today's live. So, how has your day been? How has your Monday been? I'm coming in a little bit late on this Monday with my live simply because it's been a busy, busy day. So much going on personally. um, just in terms of getting certain things right. My son is also busy with his learners, so there's a lot of documentation that we need to put in place, and also me moving from my old surname to my new surname. I just got so many tasks completed today, and just so happy to be here and excited to share with you today overwhelm strategies. Now, I love sharing things that I've experienced myself and that I've managed to gather some tools. And I love sharing these strategies, tools, techniques, whatever you want to call it, with all of you ladies out there because I know it's common and I know all of us experience overwhelm at some point in time. So, yeah, what is an effective plan for when you feel overwhelmed? And I'm hoping that the next couple of strategies that I'm going to share with you is going to support you. So you probably can't find anyone over the age of 10 that hasn't experienced a feeling of overwhelm at some point in their life. And it takes more to overwhelm some people than others, but the feeling and the impact is exactly the same. It can be very challenging to focus on solutions and take the necessary steps to resolve the situation. However, focus and action can ultimately solve most negative situations in your life, right? Many of us are prone to worrying and doing silly things to make ourselves feel better, right? So this doesn't solve the problem. You're just avoiding it temporarily, right? So I want to share with you a couple of strategies that you can do to create a plan where you will move from overwhelm to calm or to peace again. So the first thing would be to identify what is under your control. That is so important, right? There's little point to worrying about those things out of your locus of control. Determine what you can control and place your attention there. I always tell my clients, whatever situation you are faced with, you can ask yourself a couple of simple questions to decide what the next step will be, right? So it could be questions like, is there anything that I can do to change the situation now? If the answer is yes, do it. If no, you have to move along, right? So the second step that you could potentially do is focusing on your solutions, right? So now that you know what you can and can't change, you need to move your attention to finding a solution. So obsessing over a problem, you accomplish nothing when you obsess over problems. In fact, you're just driving up your stress levels, right? So time and attention spent on solutions is the best way to get you out of that mess. Creating a strategy, very important. Make a plan for putting your solution into action. Figure out what is it that I need to do to put as much of my time and effort into this specific plan, because the more that you do, the better your odds of overcoming that specific challenge. It's usually a challenge slash problem that causes the overwhelm, right? Get some rest. Being overwhelmed is stressful, right? It's important to get the rest and the relaxation that you need. This doesn't mean lying on the couch all day, don't get me wrong. I'm specifically referring to a good night's rest, right? And try and accomplish as much as you can during the day so that you can sleep at night. My granddad always used to say, night was made for sleeping. Because often we used to sit up late at night reading, and he would say, die aand is gemaak om te slaap in Afrikaans, right? The fifth one, eating well. So many people stop eating when they're highly stressed, right? Others resort to eating a lot of junk. So for me, it is grabbing a white chocolate, right? And neither is going to be good for you. Or it's not even going to help you deal with that situation. So you need to maintain good nutrition, when you are going through difficult times. I know that can be a hard one as well, right? Also remind yourself about the good in your life. Gratitude, right? You probably have more than the vast majority of people in the world. So make a list of the things and people you have in your life that you appreciate and remind yourself of how lucky you are. Have a look at your why, right? Refer back, remind yourself about the goodness in your life. Blow off some steam. Exercise, go for a walk, burn up that extra energy. You'll feel less anxious and you will have an easier time of getting a good night's sleep if you exercise. Also, if you've been working hard, of course you deserve a break. You can get back at it in the morning. And then how about celebrating your success? Right? Even a little progress is worth celebrating. Be proud of yourself and get excited about moving forward. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? This is highly motivating because one success leads to another. And then last but not least, get help. Two heads and four hands can accomplish much more than just a single person, right? Ask for help and see what happens. The worst thing that somebody can say is no, and then you won't be any worse off. But imagine them saying yes, right? Help can also take in the form of professional or psychological assistance. So get that help if you need it, right? Overwhelm is an emotion everyone is familiar with. It can be de- debilitating if you fail to address it properly. So you have to focus on the solutions and put time and energy into the right things because worrying only makes you feel worse and worse and worse, and it makes you feel less capable. It's surprising how many challenges can be handled without too much of a fuss if you just work on solving that challenge. You will find any useful answers at the bottom of a bag of donuts, and that is meant to have been a joke. So I hope these strategies on overwhelm will support you, and we'll chat tomorrow. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye for now.